Hi friends. I am in such a good mood today. I just went antiquing with one of my friends and we had such a great time. So I'm so happy to be here and I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome to this little thrift flip video. As of the time that I'm filming this part of the video, I have already completed the dress that I made. So I'm just gonna be walking you through how we made it. Our story begins at the thrift store, of course. I went to 2 different stores and I ended up getting about 8 things. For starters, we have this collared button-down shirt. Is it a button-up shirt? I don't know. Is there a difference? Is that a thing? Or do people just call it different things? I don't know. Anyways, it's striped, mostly with shades of blue, but it also has a little white and orange. The sleeves fall just below the elbow. I thought it was fun because it's textured with these little dots all over the place, kind of similar to the sweater that I'm wearing right now. Next, we have this burnt orange shirt dress thing. The top is a button up with gathered sleeves that fall slightly short of the wrists. It's got a drawstring that cinches at the waist and the skirt falls just below the knees. I did not modify this dress in this video because it's currently on Manny, my mannequin. There she is on the other side of the room wearing that. Moving on to this bright yellow skirt. I think a lot of people are afraid of wearing the color yellow, but I thought this skirt was really fun. It reaches all the way to the knees and it has this stringy white pattern on it. Next is this olive green dress / skirt. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but it's a nice color, it's got a good amount of material, and it's stretchy. Here we have another dress. This one is maroon with tight fitting off the shoulder sleeves. The skirt is slightly flowy at the bottom and it sits above the knees. The material is stretchy and it's in really good shape. I also found this velvety maroon top that I thought matched that dress pretty well. It's made to look like a corset top, but it doesn't have boning for structure, so it's flimsy, it's pretty cheap. Lastly, we have one of the best thrift finds I've ever had, which is this beautiful light yellow dress. The skirt is big and it's tiered. Each tier has these delicate little details. The top of it, however, is not my personal favorite. The big band in the middle really ruins it for me. I also don't have the upstairs equipment to fill the top, so this dress needs a bit of work before I can wear it anywhere. For this video, I decided to work with the maroon top and the dress because they already match fairly well. I dug through my fabric stash and I found a ton of this light pink sheer fabric. I also found this sheer maroon curtain that I thrifted not too long ago. I also found a ton of this pink lace from a previous project that I never got around to doing. With all that sitting in front of me, I whipped up this sketch. First, I chopped the maroon dress to the desired skirt length and used the measurements from the top of that to create this half circle paper cutout so the waist measurements match up perfectly. I measured evenly from the paper to create the first tier. My dog was very curious about this step in the process. Next, I measured the bottom to know how long the pink ruffle needed to be, and then I hemmed the raw edges. For the pink ruffle, I did some tests to figure out the best way to gather material. In the past, I've done my gathering by hand or by elastic, but this time around I decided to use my machine, and it was so much more efficient. The ruffle on the first tier, I believe, was 6 inches by 10 feet long before it was gathered. Because the material was so see-through, I did double it. For some reason, I put the pins on the edge that didn't need to be sewn, so then I had to move them all to the raw edge. Then I realized that I would need to hide that raw edge, so I pinned it all again, this time making it a rolled hem. Then my machine did its gathering magic, after which I enhanced a bit by pulling the thread until the ruffle was the length I wanted it. This was set in place by a stitch. Then I got to slap the lace on there. Here's me pinning and sewing that. At this point, I couldn't decide if I wanted the edge of the ruffle to be visible or not. Looking back at these clips, I can't believe that it was even a question because I think the raw edge looks kind of sloppy. I did ask my parents what they thought looked better, and they chose the more clean look. After that was on, it was sewn to the maroon underskirt. The top was a bit too big on me to start, so I took a little off the back while I was making a spot for the zipper. Once that was folded over and cleaned up, I pinned it to the skirt. I found this red invisible zipper in my sewing box. It's definitely not a perfect match, but this dress was going in kind of a costumey direction, so I didn't mind the color difference. I have never in my life successfully made an invisible zipper invisible, but we're getting closer. This one was, I think, my best one yet. I put this zipper in all the way to the pink ruffle. After it was sewn in, I folded the two ends of the pink ruffle over the end of the zipper so that it wouldn't show. The second tier began with me mapping out where I wanted it to go and then measuring how big each part of the tier had to be. The rest of the process was pretty similar to the first tier. Cutting a slice from the maroon curtain, throwing it on the dress, making another ridiculously long ruffle. I believe this one was 14 feet, gathering that ruffle, and securing that gathering. At this point in the project, I needed to get some more supplies. We're at Joann's right now. I didn't want to buy any additional supplies for this project, but unfortunately I ran out of lace, so I need to get some more of that and some pink thread. Today's been a really interesting day. I attend a very small university, and today I found out that they are terminating of the humanities and arts degrees. So basically one of my majors and my minor is going away, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do. And a lot of my favorite professors got let go, so today has just been a day. One thing that I love about having creative hobbies like sewing is that I'm able to take a bad day and put my energy towards something positive rather than just moping around all day. So I'm really thankful that we're working on this project right now. Things are really a mess at my school, but it is what it is. Once I had that lace, I got back to work on the ruffle. Also, shout out to my mom who got me some chocolate while she was at the store because she knew I was having a bad day.
Your school has disappointed you greatly.
Thank you. After this, I pinned the ruffle to the second tier. Does anybody else accidentally put their pins in the most inconvenient direction? I'm pretty sure every time I pinned something for this project, it was in the wrong direction. It was a mess. I need to start thinking about that before I pin. So originally I was going to make 3 tiers for this dress. When I was in elementary school, my art teacher told us that things are more visually interesting and pleasing to the eye when they are in odd numbers. That has stuck with me all this time, and I think about it almost any time I'm making anything. Unfortunately, my proportions were a little bit off when executing this dress, so by the time I had 2 tiers, it was already at the length that I wanted it to be at 3. So I scrapped the 3rd tier and settled with 2. For the finishing touches, I had to cut the maroon skirt that we started with. I took about 5 inches off, that way it would end where the maroon ends within the 2nd tier, then I hemmed it. Finally, I added some lace where the bodice and skirt meet. I was so ready to go, take pictures, and I completely forgot that there's still this. I'm just setting my sewing machine up on the floor. What a great angle. I have completely just mentally moved on to an entirely different project. Stay tuned for my next video. Why can I not find where this plugs in? Man, I need scissors. All ready to go.
Thinking you do like an edit thing where you know how they at the end of TV shows where they jump and they pause in midair.